So, hello everyone. We are now live. Hello, Bharati.
Namaste, Danielo.
Namaste. So, today we'll be talking about a very powerful mantra that Bharati will be sharing with us, and then we'll chant a little bit. And just to wait for some people to join us, we'll wait a minute or two, and then we'll get started. So before we start, do you want to say how you're feeling, how everything is going over there in Germany?
Thank you. Yeah, I personally feel today a little up and down because I feel a lot of the people I know, and I think a lot of my friends in India and also my team. And yeah, there is some uncertainty still there, of course. And but also generally, I think it's a big chance right now for many people to wake up. So I have hope, and it's very
Yes.
interesting. How are you with everything? Then?
Hello. I'm good. I'm good. So like we were talking. Hello, Isaac. Hello, Lalicha.
Nice.
Mr. Jean. Hello. Hello. Not
Oh, New York!
immediately normal.
I would love to hear how New York is. I read some things about New York. I heard it's very intense there. So I had an aunt in
Yeah.
New York, and now I'm happy I'm not in New York. So a lot of love to you guys in New York.
Yeah. So like we were talking about this 10-year-old like sage. He's like a sage when you see him talking. He was saying like he's 10
Yeah.
years old, and he was saying like how what we're going through now, it's a material disaster but a very spiritual uplifting, because people tend to look for God and pray for God and think of God when like they are in hardship, material hardship.
Right.
So he was predicting like through the Vedic astrology how this was going to be a time of hardship for humanity overall. Like this video was like 6-7 months ago. But at the same time, now it's the time where a lot of people will connect more deeply to not only themselves but to God. And
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure that there are more people praying to God today than there was like 2-3 months ago. So
Oh,
I
yes.
think it's even me, like I think when there's no when you don't have more mental or intellectual ideas, when you cannot do it with your ego anymore, that's when you start to truly let go of that and see, oh, okay, now let's surrender and connect to the real energy, to the real truth. So yes, I'm going to share his
Yeah.
video. Like, yes.
That is, please let's share and let's try to find us this contact, because that is very interesting. Because you also asked me how I am, and I feel that energy since that started. I feel there's a war going on between the light divine energies and the negative forces, and how they're using people. And I sometimes wished I could show people what I see in my third eye. It would be an amazing movie. So I see a lot of things, and since many years already. And when I Google things up, they're like, oh, wow, that's true. Oh, wow, that's true. So it's a time also for researching on, because it has many different layers. It's not just that we have a material hardship and then everybody's awakened. There's also purification happening if you choose it. So it's now also the time for many souls to choose on which side they're standing, and for what they're standing, and what they're believing, and if they follow old paths or if they follow the path of humanity. And I think that is a big test right now, because I personally believe that many things that happen, I experienced that in my spiritual path. Just want to share quickly that story. I know we wanted to share afterwards, but I have to share that right now. I had an experience, really, please, thank you, Danilo. That is, I think it's a really important thing to understand. I had an experience many years back where I know I have to stand for the truth, and I will be, not loved by that. That many people have another idea of the truth, anyhow, later on, when all that was finished, that hardship, then I had a huge spiritual experiences where Maha Avatar Babaji, I know you know that story. I told that, I think, one time to you as a group, told me, yes, even the gurus got tested, and you got tested, and everybody who was involved was tested. And I think, I never forget that, because I think that is many times we think that's happening on a surface level, but it's much more. It's much more than that. It's much more than the material level or what's happening. It's how we react to things, how we react to our friends. What are we doing with this time? And for many souls, they are not decided yet which way they go, if they go the way on the light path, on the dark path. And so that battle is, I feel, also not yet over. So it's interesting for me. I only saw a little bit of that video you sent me about that boy. I will see it again. It makes me a lot of hope, because I feel that negative energy is also battling strong. And I see a lot of falsehood. I see a lot of lies. I see a lot of things. And but same time, I feel the light is battling through. And I think about the story in India about the churning of the ocean, where the Rakshasas and the Devatas, they're churning that ocean, and there's all the negativity things coming out. And at the end of the negative things, there's the Amruta, that is a liquid of immortality. So, so you have to go through a lot of stuff to see that Amruta.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, we're really churning the ocean, really in a strong way. It's really interesting. So I think that idea of, the idea of the Vedas, if we talk about that, and the old scriptures, and, if you see of what's going to happening right now, you can see the same thing. It's the same thing. It's a battle for the earth. It's a battle for humanity. Because the human beings, in my opinion, are much more than they think they are. And I think the human greatness of the divine energies, which is each soul is capable of, is absolutely suppressed by a lot of negative forces. And there's always a chance to free from that. And it's, as I said last live stream, it's very easy to practice when we're in a good mood, when we're happy, if we're already blissed out, if we're really, in a good place. It's very easy. But times right now, that might be challenging, but also in times right now, you get much more divine energy. So, and every time somebody's practicing right now is helping also the earth to lift up. So that's right now our duty, that we have to work. That is our duty. We have to do that now as the light workers. We have to practice now.
Yes. Yes, that's so true about this fight. And there is this idea at least I feel a lot like this also, that we are now experiencing collective karma. It's the karma of our society overall. We are experiencing as one, as we are all connected now, and experiencing the same situation. So we are experiencing as one humanity, one negative karma, and so we should also let go of this karma. So we are having a huge purification, and we should also act as one, whenever we are acting positivity, not only for ourselves, for everyone. So, and I think that's why mantras are extremely powerful in these times, because this 10-year-old boy was also talking about how mantras are very special for these times, because mantras is like, this is his words, is sounds. So it's physical, and some certain frequencies can even kill bacteria. Like certain frequencies can kill bacteria and change the vibrations. And when you're chanting mantra, you're vibrating your whole body. And this is on the, let's say, 5 senses level. But beyond that, on the energetic level, you're vibrating much, much more. So by chanting mantra, I think it's important for us to chant for ourselves, but also have the time to let this energy, once you feel it, to expand to the planet for this karmic collective karma that we are facing. It's now time to build positive collective karma by not eating meat, by meditating, and all that. So I think and the mantra that I think you're going to share today is very powerful one. So I think now there are some people, we can get started. Maybe you can share with us what is this mantra about, and then talk about the mantra, and then we can all chant together.
It's beautiful. And as you say that, I feel in my heart right now connected to that place. And I will feel so thankful, Danilo, that we did our last journey. You were also there with our group to India. We still were able to visit the place. And now when I go into that, talking about that, I feel like, wow, how beautiful. We're all sitting there. And who had known that we now have to teach about
Yes.
and how the world became in just 1 month. It's amazing. So actually there are many places and power places in the world, and there are many mantras in the world. And there's a sitter, his name is Siddha Thirumal, and he actually said there are millions of mantras, millions of medicines, remedies for everything. But, most of the mantras are connected to different deities, like different vibrations of goddess and goddesses who are higher in higher lokas and higher worlds. But there's also some secret to that. There's not just the mantras connected to the deities and the beings, but there's also the energy is connected directly to the light, directly to the source where everything comes from. So there is a very special yogi, a very, very special divine soul, and Danilo made a lot of video material. So over the next months, you will see some documentary about that too. So we prepared some beautiful videos we want to do for you later. So you will see that also. And there are very few souls who were able in their life as a yogi to connect to that very, very high divine light and go directly to that energy, and through that get so much power and so much purification. There was even able to go into the immortality in their life, in the physical body, even without doing any magic or anything like this. Okay, so like with pure love and pure divine energy to transform that physical body into the highest divine light body. So, and this name of that yogi who went in that divine light body is Ramalinga Swami. I'm talking about. He's not very famous, like the most very powerful ones. They're mostly not very famous because many of them are also not interested in their lifetime. They just want to do their sadhana and do some service. So he gets famous after he died now, and he predicted that also. He said, I will be very famous in the future because there will be a time where we can all raise our light bodies. So he talks about that. And it's very interesting because he said that message will spread to the West. And now we are talking about that. So we are not Indian. So it's interesting. And I have some American friends who are also teaching about Ramalinga Swami as well than me. And when he was a yogi, he did a lot of different sadhanas and a lot of different searchings in his life. And one day he had a darshan, like he had a spiritual experience directly with Shiva. And he asked Shiva, where is all that energy coming from that universe? Where is all the gods, all the high divine beings taking that energy from? And how can I get that key to that vibration? And then Shiva himself taught him the light mantra. So this is the mantra I will teach you now. So it's a very, very direct energy. If you want to research those things, please Google up rainbow body. Okay, because in the Tibetan tradition, there are also some very few, very special Tibetans who also go into light body, and they call it rainbow body. So, but that's very, very, it's not just you chanting a few times that mantra and you in it. So there are 3 things you have to do in order to get that energy of that mantra, and that is compassion, compassion, and compassion. So it's very important. And in that temple, which Ramalinga Swami built it in India, he made a sign over the temple saying that nobody should enter who still eats meat, because if you reach a certain vibrational state, you feel everything is a one, and it's very difficult on that level to eat your friends. So let's say like that. So, but still, he let them enter, and everybody can do that mantra, even if you still eat meat. But I'm just saying that is what he shared, and I feel it in my heart, that oneness with the beings and with the animals, and how much the animals are our brothers and sisters suffering. I feel it since many, many years, and I hope that the vibration of this planet will move on, that also other people will feel it, and not just changing the diet because it might be healthy, because we are one, and there are different vibrational levels and different karmic levels of plants, of animals, and of human beings. Even the animals have also feelings, but it's a different consciousness level they are in. It's described in all in the Veda scriptures. So to come to a very high divine energy, when we chant that mantra, we will teach you, it will purify you. So even though you eat meat and things, I teach that mantra a lot of people in Germany who still were, not able to give up meat or alcohol or cigarettes or other things. And when they chanted that, they started to lose step-by-step interest on that things. And which is more beautiful even than that, is that they didn't even have to do something for that. It just happened naturally, and that just was very easy. So it changes the vibration, and that mantra, the light mantra, is changing the vibrational level even so much that healing can occur, that karma is going to be removed, and that it's a very powerful self-healing mantra. And it's called also the grace mantra. And we can have so much beautiful light coming in ourselves, chanting that mantra, that we have very different energy connected to, to everything, and that will resonate differently back to us. So with X, the question I saw, so I know some yogis, and I introduce them always to my groups I'm leading to India, because they're my beautiful yogi friends since many, many years. And one of my best friends there is also Nagaraj. And I know that the real yogis who are doing the sadhana for many, many years don't eat eggs. I also don't eat eggs. But I know that some people see it a little bit different if they have their own chickens in their house. And I think we also have to think, where does the animal come from? How we treat that animal? Does that animal have some more eggs, or just is that the only egg and we take everything away? It's a lot of things connected to that. So that mantra is also connected to the light. So in every temple, normally you put a deity. You put a deity, like for Krishna. So the Krishna temples, you put a Krishna deity. A Shiva temple puts a Shiva deity. A Hanuman temple puts a Hanuman deity. I'm also a big Hanuman Bhakta, even so I chant the Hanuman Chalisa, and I also have a Hanuman Murti. It doesn't mean I cannot do the things anymore. It's just that beautiful energy of the light is also there. So you can have to have that divine direct connection. So we can go to the experts, like Hanuman, he's an expert on bhakti. Lakshmi, she's an expert on beautiful happiness energy. Saraswati, she's an expert on divine knowledge. We still can go to all the experts, which are higher vibrating than us, but we can also just go to the light. So that temple doesn't have any deity. It just has the light. And the light, and this is an oil lamp, it's still lighting there since many, many, many years. And I think Ramalinga Swami attained light body samadhi when what is his name? Gandhi. When Gandhi was born, I think that was around that time. And so that mantra is available for everybody. And as more you practice this more, it will open your heart. It will really open your heart. When I chanted that, I had so much feelings of love and compassion. I didn't even know where to go with all of that. I felt like it felt like I could, marry everybody, but unconditionally. It's not about marrying or not marrying. It's just like there's no difference between my kids and other kids. And I feel still like that with many, many people. I love everybody so much. And that energy is coming in your heart and it's purifying, it's lifting your soul, and we can share that energy and love and compassion, and that will change the vibration. And so that is needed in this time of fear, because what does fear do? Fear is separating, fear is making us egoistic. So once our heart chakra is open, we can feel that energy together and we can live the compassion. Also very important, also yogis who connected to Ramalinga Swami, who brought that mantra into the world. They are doing a lot of bhakti yoga. So they're doing a lot of giving food for free to people. They're giving a lot of free lectures. Many of them are very bad businessmen, but very rich by heart. So it doesn't mean you don't have to have money. I'm just saying, it's like sometimes the money comes in different ways. Sometimes people and the energy is taking care on you in another way, because when you're so much in love with the divine, you start to have a different thinking, and it's sometimes different to stay in a matrix connected so much to the ego when you have a different way of feeling and connecting to everything. So that is a chance what you talked about now also, that that is the power of mantras, which can change our collective system also. So that mantra is going, that mantra is going Arut Perum Jyoti, Arut Perum Jyoti, Tani Perum Karunai, Arut Perum Jyoti. And
yes, just before we start, just wanted to share my little experience about, so people contextualize a little bit. Like Bharati said, we were in India before the Corona crisis, and there we met not only this lineage, but many different lineages, like from many different swamis, many different yogis, and each one had their own practice, each one had their own, lineage. And my own experience with this specific mantra that Bharati is going to share, that I cut just a little bit to share a little bit, is exactly the same experience that she had, that, this unconditional love, like this feeling that it's hard to describe with words. So actually, this was one of the first mantras that I had such a strong experience. So I'm just letting you guys know, because, we want to share the best here. So yes.
Yes, it's very, very beautiful, very powerful. And, I'm just sharing so much of that knowledge which is connected to that. So over the time, step by step, we can give more and more information and get more and more energy to you, and let you know about all those vibrations which are connected to that. And yes, somebody just wrote, nobody should be harmed. That is the thing. They're still going, the idea is going around in some traditions, not in India only, especially not India, but also in Pakistan and many things, and that you have to do any sacrifices or anything that is not the real God. No God is asking blood, or no, that is not God. That is the negative side. Okay, so any negative things, anything which is harmed, any being which has feelings, is not a good energy. So it's as simple as that. And so that is also in the shamanic way. It doesn't matter which tradition. So it's very important to look who is the one who's saving people and who is the one who's using certain life force or certain prana for something. So as I said, even in the shamanistic way, so Ramalinga Swami was very much against all tantrics. We call it in India black tantrics. So, and I know that in times of trouble, even some Indian people, they think they have to go to a Kali temple, which is using the black energy. There are Kali temples who are using the white energy. We also met some of that who would never do any blood sacrifice. But I know still Kali temples where they do the sacrifices, and that's not the way to go. go. That is creating very bad karma, and one day you have to pay that back. So don't go that way, because you have to pay that karmic debts back. So it's and same as that, we don't realize how much harm it does to eat meat. For many people, they don't realize when you chant high divine mantras, so connected to the higher divine beings, you start to see that, you start to get the feeling for that. And don't worry, God is so compassionate. God has so much love. So even there are so much stories of people who did funny stuff before and then they switched around, and so there's always a chance for each person to involve and to lift up their spirit. And even people who still eat meat or have a different view, you still can do the light mantra. It doesn't harm you, and it still gives unconditional love to you and gives healing. So everybody can do that. It's just light and love sharing here, nothing more. So maybe, Danilo, can you write down the mantra, or should I?
Yes. Yes, I can write it here.
Yeah, so you know that mantra by heart by now, I think.
Yes.
Okay, so and I will chant that mantra for you 3 times, so you can, or even if I feel longer, and you can feel inside, and you can feel that vibration. You can even put your hand on your heart if you want, and you can put your your pain or your questions. You can put now into that energy and ask for healing. And you can also send healing to the world right now while I'm chanting it. And so you can chant it anytime, even in silence. You don't have to sing it aloud. You can chant it with your mala, or you can also do it in silence. Yes, that's it.
I typed it wrong. Someone typed it the right way.
Right, that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the mantra.
Super. So that's beautiful when we have some souls here who already know that. It's very amazing. Okay. So I chant now. Arat peram jyoti, arat peram jyoti, tani peram karunai, arat peram jyoti, arat peram jyoti, arat peram jyoti, tani peram karunai, arat peram jyoti, arat peram jyoti, arat peram jyoti, tani peram karunai, arat peram jyoti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
So if you guys want, you guys can chant this mantra a few times per day. We did a really short chanting, but you can keep chanting this 108 times or even more. And in a few days, or even in the first day, you might really feel the change especially from your fourth chakra. And the meaning of this mantra, do you want to share it as the meaning, Bharati?
Yes. So I want to say again before I say the meaning is that there are two ways of chanting. One is singing aloud, but that is mostly when we are with groups, or we do it with a mala or silently in our mind. So you don't have to sing it, yeah. And very powerful is why you're doing it, to watch the flame. It's very powerful for the third eye. It's very powerful to release negative feelings. If you feel any anxiety, negative energy, fear, it really is purifying a lot very quickly. So, hence that mantra means, there are different meanings, which each word in Sanskrit, Telugu, in all the different languages which are used in mantras, there are many different meanings. There was a scholar once who told me each Sanskrit mantra, even you could translate it in 10 other ways too. So because it's very poetic language. So what I give you is just one basic information. Arut Perum Jyoti, Arit the highest, Perum the highest divine love. That Perum is a unconditional love, because we can love in our family, but if somebody or friends or somebody does something we don't like him anymore, So that real love is a divine love, which is very unconditionally, like a mother to that child. That is a real spiritual love. Ari Perum Jyoti. Jyoti is the highest divine light. It's not really meant the light. It's just, it's not the light like in the flame. It's the highest divine energy ever you can access. Tani Perum Karunai means that this divine light and love, everything we chanted before, is coming in us, is purifying, is bringing that energy into it and purifying, working in it. So we're asking for that. And then it's again Arut Perum Jyoti. So we are remembering that we are that. We are actually that. And we are, once a yogi told me, I was very shocked. There was a big satsang I was in one time. And he said, what do you think, how many percentage we are in illusion with our ego, and how much you think we are really the divine energy right now, which our soul is? And I said, yeah, maybe we are 10% with our soul and 90% illusions. And he said, most people are 1% only in their soul and 99% in illusion. That also means how much energy is there we can extend. So as more you chant that mantra, as more you do sadhana, spiritual practice, as more your character is changing, your thinking is changing, your patterns are changing, and the pain is removed. The pain of problems, of reactions we had, there's a quietness coming and there's a longing for silence. What many yogis know, there's a longing for, you don't want to even interact, with many dramas and things anymore. You just be so happy to be in your space. And from there, you can share so much energy and love, because now the main thing we see is people in fear. We see so many people in fear. So, and that is the thing you guys also can share. When you feel that love, you can share that love, you can ease the fear, not just in yourself, but also in others. And that is what is needed right now more than ever. And that is a chance Danilo talked about in times like that when people are praying, that energy is very easily accessible in Kali Yuga, the time which we are now, because not many people are really practicing. So even if you practice just a few days, you feel the difference. So the
Yes.
best time to practice is between 3 and 5 o'clock in the morning also.
Yeah. So, like one suggestion that I, from my own experience, is that when you chant, what for me, like I really can connect to this mantra when I open myself to this energy. Like, I'm chanting this mantra. I am, also opening myself so that this energy flows through me to whatever form it has to flow, like not trying to, oh, I want this way or that way, like just allowing yourself to receive this energy and to let it flow. And yeah, that have been the best way for me to connect to this mantra, and then letting it flow to also the others people, to other people, and just completely, I think, surrender to the experience. And I am sure that as you do that, a lot of blessings will come.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, it was a very beautiful mantra. If you can chant with your friends, oh, just one more thing I want to share is that the reason why when we are in a difficult situations, we can receive God's blessing is because when we let go of the things that we think we can do and we open ourselves, we receive. So it means that God's blessing, God's energy is always waiting, like in the top of your head, like it's knocking on the door all the time, just waiting you to open that door and let it let it flow. And when we are hard, when we don't know what to do anymore, it's like, okay, God, I surrender. Do what you have to do. That's opening. That's why a lot of people experience a lot of miracles on hardships, but it's not
Right.
because of the hardship that the miracle is coming. It's because of the openness. So if you
Right.
can keep this openness independent on what is happening, we will always be blessed, like we will always be connected. So I think, and this mantra is exactly that, like, as you open to this light, to this beautiful, to this highest source of love and light, all the things that, that craving for meat, that craving for drinks, like for drinking alcohol, that craving for doing bad things, you won't even have to fight against it. It will naturally disappear because, it's like it doesn't bother you anymore. It's like you don't have any struggle.
Right.
So yes, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's live. We will we will do mantras at least one or twice a week, and until uh, this experience, that this collective karma is gone, until we go to the next stage of our collective karma. And also on we will have some guests. So for Saturday and for Monday, I believe we have some guests that will be doing a live stream, which will be very special guests for you to
Yeah.
listen to what is happening from all the perspectives,
Mhm.
from people from very diverse backgrounds. One person, Akshay, I've heard a little bit about him. He was an ex-military. He was also in the darkness retreat. And there's another special guest on Saturday that I'll be uploading what we're going to talk about. I even don't know I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm open, and so we'll
Very
just
nice.
be here and see what happens. And if you also want some people to come to our, to have a chat here, also let us know. We are trying to contact as many beautiful souls as we can to share with you guys their wisdom, their knowledge. And
Right.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. Beautiful souls. And yeah, help us to spread the healing and to help us to, that's beautiful, say, may the light working through us. And I love to say, may the force be with us.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, you see here some with
Okay.
Star Wars. Take
Mm.
care.
Okay. Take
Beautiful.
care. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Om Shanti.